So, last episode we talked about Qui-Gon, Obi-Wan,
Yep.
they pull the hoods back,
Yeah.
here they are, living force.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then we get the intro to the big bad. Sidious.
Right.
Does it work? Does his intro work? Does it make sense, for the Phantom Menace for Star Wars?
Yeah. So here's the trick, right? Those of us that are familiar with the Star Wars universe at the time, like, we know who that is.
Yeah, it's a big duh kind of moment, yeah.
So I'm curious if it would work for someone that was unaware. I don't know.
Yeah.
I was intrigued. For me, it was like, okay, I know that that's the Emperor,
Yeah.
right? And so I dug that we're getting that. I'm curious, though. One of the things is we get some type of clues to what I'll loosely call the ineptness of Newt Gunray and company.
Yeah.
And then Sidious tells him to go in there and kill them. Like, he's got to know, like, that's the dumbest thing, like, ever, right?
Like, it's going to work.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I think, we've talked ad nauseum on the podcast about the brilliance of Palpatine.
Yeah.
And you just have to wonder, too, setting that up, knowing what the outcome was going to be, kind of clever guy.
Yeah, it's interesting. You get the first quotable moment of the Phantom Menace, in my opinion, where he comes in as a little blue hologram, and he's like, "I will make it legal," and it's like, "Yeah, I'll quote that."
Yeah.
So you get your first quotable line.
Yeah.
I'm okay with his intro. I get it. It's like, should Maul have been there to take him out? Of course, that wouldn't make a good movie,
Right.
But it does work, I think, on one level of mysterious guy in a hood.
Yeah.
It's the tropes that Star Wars puts out there.
It's true.
And you get this dark figure that's pulling the strings. And I think in terms of storytelling, that's always compelling to people.
Yeah.
Like, there's someone behind the scenes, like, directing everything.
Right.
These guys are bad.
Right.
But it's really
He's back there twirling his mustache.
And when my kids watched it for the first time, like, they were totally in, and they're little, and they in terms of a children's film, this is early on. It's hitting all the right beats, and I get the whole argument, like, really, does he expect these droids to kill these Jedi? I mean, come on.
Right.
One is But, one's a master, but, is it all part of Palpatine's plan? Did he want to, get them down in Naboo? Is he setting something in motion?
Right.
And it really, is he setting something in motion eventually for Anakin? You just don't know. Right. We know that Palpatine, if we watch, like, Rebels, he's involved with understanding how he can see aspects of time,
right?
And the world within worlds, or something. I can't remember the name of the Rebels episode, but it's that idea. So we know Palpatine was toying with those things. Even Clone Wars has some of that stuff,
right?
And so you wonder just what all he has going on. But when you look at just Phantom Menace alone, I think it does a decent job of, like, okay, there's a villain behind the scenes.
Yeah.
It's very much a trope that we see in film.
Yeah.
Where you have the bad guy in the background, and so I didn't mind it.
I agree, and it is interesting, though, when we take things from a more macro perspective, right? And we now know, as close as we'll probably ever know through the Marvel comic line, that Palpatine indeed created Anakin through the Force, right?
Yeah.
So does that make his moves here even more brilliant?
I don't know. I mean, it's a great question, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
I think maybe.
Yeah.
And so, I don't know, as we kind of dive through the prequels in general, look at all three of these films, I'm going to be curious more and more as we start to unravel these things and look at the movies again.
Yeah.
If we'll see, this Palpatine brilliance kind of playing out.
Right.
Or it's just we're reading into it and he's just a moron.
There is a chance.
There is a chance.